Okay, I am a YouTuber, so I really like interaction, I like engagement, so please don't feel scared to say what you need to say. It's not a one-man show. All right, this is new to me. Okay, so I get the chance to do these every once in a while. By the way, my name is Moyin Oloruntoba, as Fred has said. I'm a YouTuber. And I just thought before I go into my talk, I do get to do these quite often. There's often a lot of people who don't know me, because, that's just life. But I wanted to show you what I do. So you actually get to see a bit of the content. So this is a little trailer that my editor so nicely in the pink top over there put together this morning. And yeah, hope you like it.
What's up, y'all? This is King Luke, and you're tuned in to the A1.
My name is Moyin Oloruntoba, and I'm here to bring you entertainment and branding news that you need to know today. We're back, Call the Celebs with me. We are at the Cape Town Jazz Festival Gala Dinner. So we're here at Cape Town Fashion Week. All right, so we're here with Cover Girl on Zamambata. The best and worst. Next level, Ransom Blue, what's up? We are currently celebrating fresh talent in the entertainment industry, and we have partnered with Burger King to do just that. Shout out to our sponsor, Tickerlock.com. Our code is still valid, the A1.
Yo, this is Ricky Rick, and right now you're watching the A1.
All right, so that is a little bit of, what I do, is cute little trailer over there. So, yes, you can clap, it's fine. My editor worked really hard on that. I'm very particular. He was probably very annoyed with me by midday. So my channel, I'm a YouTuber, and my channel is called The A1. So just to give you a little bit of a background of who I am, my name is Moyi. I'm originally from Nigeria. My family moved down to Lesotho when I was 6 years old in 1996. Lived there for about 8 years, moved to the Free State, lived there for 8 months, moved to the Eastern Cape, lived there for 3 years. Came to Cape Town on holiday, and I was like, that's it. I'm done. It's beautiful. I love Cape Town, and I've been here for almost 10 years. So, yeah, I absolutely love Cape Town. Oh, Cape Town Capetonians are like, yeah. So I studied marketing. I have a marketing degree from IMM with Varsity College, and I became a digital strategist. So I used to work with the brands to help them with their social media and really get engagement and all of that. And then Home Affairs decided to lose all my papers. They just decided, you know what, I don't think Moyi necessarily needs time in essay, so, So they lost all my papers when I applied for a South African ID. And I got nothing to do. I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. So for about a year and a half, I was trying to figure out what to do. And if you know me, you know I'm a busybody. I hate doing nothing. Absolutely hate it. So I was like, all right, people seem to be doing this whole blogging thing. Let's try this out. And when I was in varsity, people told me, oh, you're tall, you're skinny, you're pretty, go model. So I tried that, did not like it at all. But I thought, you know what, let me try this blogging thing. I decided to find a photographer on Facebook or Gumtree, one of the two. Don't do that. But I was very lucky. I tell people don't do that because it's not always the chances, with other people. But I was very, very lucky. Not a great friend. And so we would go and take photos and do the outfit of the days and, all those kind of things that people would do. But I realized for blogging, you have to write. I don't like writing. So I quickly got over that. And did some odd jobs here and there. Eventually, Home Affairs said, all right, we got everything together. We sorted our lives out. Here's the South African ID. And I was trying to figure out what to do. The company I worked for Saatchi, which became Synergize. No, I worked for Synergize, which got bought by Saatchi, and Synergize did SEO. So that's what I learned. Straight out of varsity, marketing, digital strategist, worked with social media and SEO. And so they were like, we'd love to have you back. And by that time, I was, living my best life, going to a whole bunch of events and stuff. So I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do that. But I got a lot of opportunities creating imagery for brands. Because I was a black girl in Cape Town in fashion, there weren't a lot of them. And so I'd get I'd get asked by brands to create content for them. So eventually I decided, you know what, I want to do what I've always wanted to do, but I've never been bold enough to do. And that was entertainment. I wanted to be a TV presenter, like Danilo. The South African market, or the producers, or however it works, I didn't get a lot of opportunities to do so. So my mind said, okay, what do you do when you want a TV or want a job? What do you do? You research the company, you try and make sure that you have all the skills to do this particular job. And so I realized I don't necessarily have any experience in TV presenting. Why would somebody hire me? So I decided to start a channel called the A1. That on YouTube. And essentially it was just for me to have a portfolio, just for me to have this, create content, because I had been obsessed with YouTube. And so I thought, you know what, let's just try and, interview a few celebrities and put it on YouTube, and hopefully when I go for a casting or something and somebody says, oh, what work have you done? Then I can show them that, all right, I've done some stuff, on my own accord, but still I've done some stuff. But I had no idea that I would find the South African market, online market. So I was that kid growing up who loved watching TV. We weren't allowed to watch TV during the week, very strict Nigerian parents. So you could only watch the news and Seven Dalan. Yes, because we had to learn Afrikaans, and that was the best way. We convinced our father that Seven Dalan, perfect way to learn Afrikaans. And so, and so we weren't allowed to watch TV during the week. We were only allowed to watch the news in Seven Dalan. And so on the weekends, we were allowed to watch TV. So Saturday morning cartoons. It's so sad that they're pretty much gone. But that was what we used to do. And I would watch a ton of TV. And my father would say, you need to stop watching so much TV. You keep watching other people get paid. I was like, what? I had no clue, no understanding, none of that. So when I went to university and there's no TV, crap, what am I going to do? So I found YouTube. And so like Fred said with Casper Lee, that was a time when Casper Lee was still playing and trying to figure out stuff. There was Jack Scap, Zoella. I don't know if I'm mentioning names that you may or may not know, but it's a very early adopters of YouTube. So I decided, all right, I'm going to start a YouTube channel back in varsity. It did really, really well. It was with fashion, because that's what I liked to dabble in. And I started getting invited to Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana to cover fashion events and put them on YouTube. But strict Nigerian parents, because that was picking up so much. My schoolwork wasn't bad, I was still good. But I wanted to travel and do all these things, but they would conflict with lectures and with exams and things like that. So my dad was like, I don't understand what this thing is. Make sure you get your degree. So that was the focus. Played around with another channel, great, played around with it, got a full-time job. So by the time the A1, I decided to pursue or do this whole online portfolio of mine. I already had equipment. I had, for my 21st, I'm not, he calls me the mother, I'm not that old. But not that mothers are old, I'm so sorry. But I was 21 for my 21st birthday. I was like, don't spend a bunch of money on all of that. Just give me a camera. But buy me a camera that looks like it's the real deal. So it was one of these, right? One of these. It was super. My dad is a techie, so he got me this Panasonic that looked like a TV camera, but it's really just like a point and shoot, but in a fancy little thing. And so I had a lot of fun with that. I bought lights, eventually sound. So by 2015, when I decided to start the A1, I got a bit of equipment. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna start this channel focused on celebrity, entertainment, and pop culture, specifically in South Africa, because it was supposed to just be an online portfolio. So there was no way I'm gonna start interviewing, let's say, Angelina Jolie, thank you. So I really focused on local content. But what I did not know is that a ton of people would start finding that content and start watching that content and start engaging with me. So I realized quickly, okay, this is becoming a thing. And so I started paying more and more attention to creating content specifically for the South African market. And then it just grew from one point to another. Right now we're in almost over 2 million views, almost 10,000 subscribers. But the one thing I'm super, super proud of my channel is the fact that it's very local. So if you're in the States and you have no idea, sometimes Americans can be a bit woo in finding where things are. You may not necessarily get what this content is, but it resonated with local people. Like people understood what I was talking about that overseas they wouldn't. So now the numbers, when we say, oh, are people watching, are South Africans spending their money on data? My 2 million people have. It's very specific. With YouTube, it's global and things like that, so a ton of people can watch you around the world. But with my specific channel, it's very, very tailored. And so so what is the A1? It's an entertainment channel that focuses on celebrity, entertainment, and pop culture. And why did I start it? Because I wanted to be a TV presenter. So who watches the A1? The A1 is predominantly watched by 18s to 35s. Can I ask a quick question? Who found out Donald Trump was president on TV? You watched the 7 o'clock or something, or 9 o'clock. So can you just put up your hand again? Okay. How many of you found out Donald Trump was president on Twitter? All right. How many of you found out through word of mouth? Your friend said, oh my gosh, Donald Trump is president right now. Okay. But out of all how did the rest of y'all find out? I feel like those are most of the options. But there's most people are getting their information and they're getting their content right here, right? They're getting it on their phone, they're getting it on the tablet, on their laptop, at work, all of that. And so a lot of people that were watching my content fit into the 18 to 35, predominantly black, because there weren't a lot of black content creators at that time. So seeing someone, granted I'm not completely like them because I'm Nigerian, but I've lived here long enough. And so they could, really understand what I was talking about, engage with the content. So 18 to 35, 64% female, 36% male. Funny fact or fun fact, it was mostly male when I started, and I was questioning why. So 80% of them live in SA, and they are the most incredible group of community. I mean, talented, because a lot of them watch my content on campus or at work. I'm sorry if they're watching what I do. I've actually gotten complaints. There's an architecture, the UCT, it's architecture, yes. And they have a studio, and there were 2 girls that were cracking up laughing, and people wondering, what is going on? Like, we're trying to work here. They head over there and they find out they're watching one of my channels, and I get into trouble because they're watching me when they're supposed to be working. I can't account for that, I'm sorry, that's not my problem. But they do watch content on their phones and their tablets at work and on campus where there's free Wi-Fi for days. So here I am creating these contents that, thousands of people are watching. It's incredible to see. The first time I reached 100 views, that's amazing in itself. First time I reached 1,000 views, reached 5,000 views, 100,000 views. And these are on particular videos, so not on as a whole. It just became insane. So I decided, great, I'm a YouTuber now, I'm diving completely into this, but I gotta make money. I'm very smart with my money, so while I was working as a digital strategist, and I've been working since I was 15, 14, 13, don't tell anyone, but I've been working and saving for a really long time. So for a long time, I was able to live off my savings. But now, when it gets to that too close for comfort part where the money is not, And so I decided, okay, what's going on? My YouTube channel does create, I do get a revenue from it, but you find that if you don't appeal to the international market, you can't tap into the international AdSense and money, and it just becomes all complicated. So I had to become really, really smart in how I start to make money. So one of the things that I decided to do was create an event last year called the A1. My channel is called the A1 Creators Table, where I asked a few of my influencer friends to come together and brands as well. So we had agencies like top CEOs and whatnot from agencies, or creative directors from agencies. And we had a conversation about this world of influence, social media influence, because you have creators creating the most engaging things and brands that are somehow missing the mark. And so I had an event last year. We did extremely well. We were at, not far from here, the Radisson Red, sold out, amazing. And so we're doing that again this year in Joburg and in Cape Town. But the one that I think took quite a big leap, or a great step, not just for me, but for YouTubers in general, was when I, out of frustration, pitched to South African Airways. So I decided that, you know what, I think they need my videos on their flights because it's hella boring, whatever they're putting on there. And so I pitched to them, forgot about it, until later on, one lady's like, I had a nice look at your channel and I think this particular show could work. After a few months, it was a long process. In November last year, you can officially watch my videos on South African Airways. So that was, thank you. So that was a big step, not just for me, but for other YouTubers. I think it really helped people start seeing how they can push the boundaries in terms of video creation, because it's not, yes, we are on YouTube, but we create content. We create video content that engages and really, really forms a community for thousands of people to be part of. And that can live, yes, on YouTube, that can live on an airline, it can live in the back of a car, you know, the little screens there. Pretty much anywhere there's a screen, we can be. So it's been an interesting journey to find how to make money from what we do, or what I do, what we do. And finding unique ways that work for South Africa. Because what happens or what works in the UK is not going to work here. I've had people come down and be like, oh, you need to sell merchandise. Everybody sells merchandise. I'm like, not here. Like, I can create a t-shirt saying the A1, and maybe 5 people will pay for it, which is great, but that's not going to help my life. And so I had to start thinking, what do locals right here, what works right here? So we really became innovative and pushing the boundaries in a lot of ways. So what's next? For me and for the A1, I realized I kind of have a knack for creating online content. Whether it was the pictures or the imagery that I got asked to create for brands, or now a YouTube channel where millions of people have watched, I do have a knack of creating things, video, online content that really engages with people. So we're now starting to create content for brands who want their own YouTube channels and they want their own, space in this YouTube world, but they don't have the time to, really work on what's going on. That's why you have people like Special Effects, that's why you have people like me, that will then help you either to create the content, know what's happening behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, it doesn't matter, so that you know that what you're putting your money into really, really, really does work. With TV, I just wanted to show you the Donald Trump now. Not a lot of people are watching TV. I was at an event last week, and the marketing head for MultiChoice so strongly came on stage and said, yes, so how many of you have DSTV and watched this show? Yeah, it got hella awkward. It got seriously awkward. And it was a room of young, emerging, talented, educated people between the ages of 18 to 35 who had smart TVs and get everything they need to do on the palm of their hand. So if you're not appealing to that market, what are you going to do? In the next, 10 years, that's how we engage. How many of you have a tablet or a cell phone? All right, so essentially, I can reach every single one of you right here. You didn't have to schedule me at 7 o'clock. I can talk to you right now if I want to. And so the importance of understanding the times, I think if you've ever read case studies about Kodak, or I feel bad for Kodak because I feel like everybody uses them as an example. But But with the times, you gotta really understand the times. And if video, like Danilo says, it really just engages so many senses in your sight and your ears, and I can't remember all the senses now. But essentially, it gives you a fuller picture. So the way you communicate your brand is fuller. Right? You can add comedy to it, you can add emotion to it. And so all of those are really, 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 really important. So if you're ever thinking of starting a YouTube channel, my one tip for you, just do it. Just Nike, right? Just do it. Because I promise you, just like Danilo, your first video is probably going to be really weird. But, I don't know. But as you grow with it, your audience will grow with it. The most amazing things was seeing people record videos in an airline where the hostess is telling them, okay, switch off your phones. And they're like, wait, I just need to take a video for Moyin to see that I'm watching her on a freaking airline. Like, that's amazing. And so having that audience that goes with you with every part of your life experience, imagine with a brand. Imagine that they tell you from the time you get your first car to the time that you are retired and can drive the best of the best. We've been with you in this entire journey. That's what video does. It takes you on a story, it takes you on a journey. It gives emotion to it. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry. It gives you the fuller picture. So if you're ever thinking about starting a YouTube channel for yourself or for your brand, please just do it. Thank you very much.